Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a family of 8 who live off-grid in Australia. It is Sunday morning, so this is my weekly catch-up at the moment and let you know of all the little bits and pieces that have gone on during the week. It's 6:30 in the morning, so, people tend to tell me I look a bit rough at this time in the morning, and most of that's just because I just got up. So, and I just get up and I get dressed and I get moving and I'm awake and so we're doing stuff. So, while I chat to you today, though, I am going to do some bread. So I'm going to turn you around and put you on the bench for the moment. So one of the things I've been doing this week is experimenting with getting my sourdough starter going again. I have, it's doing quite well. It's starting to proof quite well. I made some dough up yesterday, but we've been having a lot of trouble with temperatures and trying to figure it out. So there's a chart that you can follow based on the temperature of your dough and how long you should let it proof and to what volume capacity you want it to increase and things like that. And see, I've been using my fancy probes. And the thing is that the dough's been sitting at like 30, 32 degrees. I don't know what it's sitting at the moment because I left it in overnight. So it's been out on the bench all night. And when I put it when I did it up, it was sitting at 32 degrees. It's sitting at 23 now, which is fine. It's got some bubbles on the surface and things like that, and it's definitely increased. Now, I'm still struggling to figure out, like, if it's set at 32 degrees, then it would take 5.5 hours-ish from mixing to being 30% proof, and then you put it in the fridge. Now at 24, it can go a lot longer than that. But at the same time, it's a hard one. Our weather's really causing issues. So for the moment, it looks good after sitting all night. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to tip it out and we're going to see how it feels and looks inside, and then we'll split it. So yes, I've been doing some experimenting. I'll put some photos up. It's got some nice structure on it. I'll put some photos up of the sourdough I've been doing this week, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. But it's definitely proving to be a bit difficult now. All right, so I do not hold out much hope for those. I put them in loaf tins rather than shaping them into a boule or a batard because the dough was just not working. So it was a slightly different recipe to normal. I added a little bit of enrichment to it because I was going for more of like a sandwich dough. So I don't know whether that was part of the problem because I hadn't made that ratio before, but mostly it's the temperatures. So I'll put some photos in here of the loaves that I've been doing over the past week. But most of these I've been doing mixed up at like lunchtime and then going in the fridge by say 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon and then baking the next day. So I've been watching them really closely, watching the temperatures and doing that sort of thing. And it seems to have been working. So I think I probably just jumped ahead with the temperature. So it was, as I said, the dough was still 32 degrees when I went to bed. It got down to 24 by this morning, but it could be well and truly overproofed. It could have, because those temperatures are quite high, and that's why it's really slack. But I'm still working out, because when the temperatures get cold, overnight proofs are the thing that I normally do. But I would say that this just went too far. Now, what I've done, as I said, I've just shaped it into loaf pans. We'll cook it, and either it'll be edible or it'll be breadcrumbs, but I'm not going to waste the ingredients anyway. So I will show you, but I don't hold up much hope. So I also don't have, so what I really want to purchase, which is something that I'm looking at as I get the sourdough working again too, is some of the loaf tins that you can put on top of each other so that I can get some, because at the moment I use the cast iron bakers, but they don't work in the oven, they only work in the barbecue, and I'd like to bake in the oven. So anyway, that was just a ramble start to my morning. Catch up, Sunday catch up. What have we got to do? What did we need to talk about today? I did a top-up shop during the week, so Darryl had to take the kids to the dentist, and because he had to go to Goondiwindi for that, he went and did a click and collect at Coles for me. So because we didn't get the hamper this month, I did a click and collect there. We had $60 that we could spend on flybys that we hadn't spent at Christmas, and then I bought a few extras as well. Now, this is why I don't shop in between my shopping periods, and this is how I save money by not doing that. because I'm having so much issue with this low carb sort of a feeling like I'm getting enough and things like that, what I did was I bought a bunch of the treats that I bought samples of in the last shopping trip as part of this grocery shop. So some of the sugar-free chocolate that we found from Coles that we really liked. I actually bought some jellies for the kids as well as myself and things like that. So I spent far more than I should have. I think it ended up being $190. So that's, $140 more than a hamper for probably less food. Part of that was that I said to Darryl too, because he had kids with him, to let them go through the fresh produce section and buy whatever they want in fruit and veg. And it's really not a cheap way to do that. And they picked rock melons and things like that. So a lot less for the dollar value than the fruit and veg that I buy, sort of thing. So this is that top-up shop. I'll put that, I filmed it once we got it home, and I'll put that in there for you. So here's what we got this week to add on to everything else. So I just grabbed a couple of bags of potatoes for the kids. They're so expensive to buy from Coles and that. I think it's like $3.95 a kilo. It was the cheapest I could get. I've washed one, so I just grabbed a couple of bags just to have as meals. I grabbed a high-protein granola and yogurt for me to give a go at having for breakfasts. A block of cream cheese because it's cheap to buy from Coles. They had these sugar-free chocolates for half price. I haven't tried this brand before, so I grabbed them to give a go, but I actually bought the ones that we like as well. So these have, I don't know if I mentioned, but they have individual little packs in them, so it works really well. It's great. The boys really like tea. They've run out of tea bags. I bought the standard just bushels tea, but they had these ones half price, vanilla chai and an English breakfast, so I thought it might be nice for them to have a couple of flavours to choose from if they would like to. This is the cheap pork crackle from Coles. It's $2 a bag, and I just grabbed a few bags of that for myself to have for crunchy snacks when I'm really struggling. I got some flax seeds because I needed some flax seeds for a few different recipes. I got paper towel. These Muscle Nation protein bars were half price, $2.25. They're not something I would buy very often, but they were half price, and I thought that Darryl and I could just try them, something as a treat, see how they go. I got a couple of bags of the Double D no sugar jelly lollies because we're going to make another batch of Rocky Road, so I needed that. And I bought some sugar-free jelly. So the plan with this is that I still have some of that whipped cream in a can, so I thought a nice sweet treat would potentially be some sugar-free jelly with a bit of that whipped cream. And when I was looking for this, I saw that they have these new sours jellies, so I grabbed some for the kids. There's a blue raspberry, green apple, purple grape and peach fizz sour jelly, so the kids will enjoy that. Normally they only have jelly Christmas time when I make it, so just something different. This is why we don't do top-up shops though. We needed nutritional yeast flakes. We were almost completely out, so I grabbed a bag of that. The box of flosses that we bought last shopping trip, they got spilled everywhere and had to be thrown out, so I grabbed a new box. These soy protein crisps, I see a lot of recipes for low carb type stuff using this as the crunchy part of sort of like a rice puff in a chocolate bars and things like that, so I thought that they might be worth trying. And this brand was the low carb bars that we really liked, but we got the peanut caramel one or something last time. This particular Gundawindi's Coles has limited stock. I don't remember buying that one, but I bought this one, so we'll see. They were on sale, so again, this is treat stuff that wouldn't normally get in the middle of the month, but we'd normally have the hamper. So the other thing that I bought I did click and collect for all of this stuff. I also got some scourers because I didn't get any when I did the shopping. These tortillas were half price, so they were $2.25 per pack of 10, so I just grabbed the kids a few more wraps to have. And I also ordered this cauliflower cheese bake. It's quite low carb. I thought it might be nice as a side for Darryl and I, a bit different. And I ordered some more udon noodles, except they only had one udon noodle in stock and the rest are Singapore noodles, so the kids can try those. Now Darryl also had $60 on Flybuys to spend, so I sent him in to buy what he wanted. I bought the Ziploc bags too, to get some fruit and veg and stuff, let the kids pick some stuff. So the kids picked some corn chips. They had a bag on the way home in the car. We also grabbed, Darryl probably picked the mushrooms and some broccoli. The kids have picked some rock melon, some apples, some fresh bananas, and this, I don't know who picked that, but someone grabbed that. So the whole, $60 odd doesn't go very far when you're just shopping at Coles, which is why I said we don't do this, but because we didn't get a hamper and Darryl had to take the kids to the dentist, this is what we grabbed. So yes, I spent money on stuff that isn't real food. But yes, it was to try and alleviate some of that need for something else to eat for me mostly, but also to give the kids some treats too. So what else happened this week? So we've had 42.5 degree days during the week, which someone converted for me in the comments as 108 Fahrenheit. So we've had to take things pretty easy. Darryl and I have been doing a lot of D&D type stuff, so sitting at the computer and just doing that. And the kids have been doing a lot of swimming in the pool and standstill kind of stuff too. So this week has been a fairly quiet week, which is one of the flaws with summer that we really struggle with too, in that you forget how little you can do when the temperatures get that high. When it's that high, there just isn't much you can do. We did get turkeys, so I've got some photos here for you. I will have to go out and walk through the pens once we get the next section finished, but at the moment the entrance is in behind the pens. So a local had some extra turkeys, and Albert has been on her own this whole time, so we got an extra male turkey and a female turkey and a baby who we think might be female, and we might get a few more. We'll see how we go. Apollo's keen on eating turkey, so we'll see. We have enough trouble getting through the excess roosters and stuff at the moment, so we'll see how we go. But for the moment, at least Albert has some friends, which is really nice. For those who don't know, Albert turned up on our property one day. She just was here, and because we feed the animals that turn up, she stayed. I asked if anyone was missing one. Nobody seemed to be missing one, so she stayed. We didn't know if she was male or female. She got called Albert, as in Albuquerque, and so that stuck. So yes, we got turkeys. What else happened this week? What else happened this week? Oh, it was our 13th wedding anniversary, but I never remember. So Facebook had to remind me. So about lunchtime, it reminded me that it was our wedding anniversary this week. So it's not something that we celebrate as such. But so the 22nd of January was our wedding anniversary, our 13th wedding anniversary, which was nice. Not that we did anything for it, because we don't. What else has gone on this week? I had an optometrist appointment on Friday to try and get ahead of some of the stuff that's been going on with these migraines and things that have been knocking me out. But I've got some reading glasses coming, being that I'm over 40 now. It's pretty normal to need reading glasses, but we will see. So I have a condition in one of my eyes that I basically have no vision in. I only have light and movement vision, and it was from when I got chickenpox as a child. And it's been ongoing since I was 7. It is unfixable, unfortunately. It's just there's so much scarring and damage to the cornea that it can't be repaired. So it's potential that it's causing me some issues. Normally, when I come out here at 6:30, I get just time to do all this and not have to worry about it. But they have to head to church early this week, so there's people coming and going all the time. So yes, the cornea is so badly scarred that there is nothing they can do, and it could be partly what is causing pain issues. So they've given me some drops and stuff to try and help with that, and we'll see if that works. If the drops do work, there is further steps that can be taken. I can get a amniotic membrane graft over the eye and things like that, though that doesn't appeal to me in the slightest. I think I'd prefer to just keep using drops for however many years it requires. But we will see if that's part of the cause. If this helps, then that's probably part of the cause of the headaches. So if the drops work, then it points to that being the issue, and we can potentially address that later. But I don't know that I want to. There is the option of just patching the eye forever and not having it anymore as well. So we shall see if I get some relief from the drops and stuff, or if I need to look further, and if I get some relief from the drops, some of the migraines and stuff get reduced, then we know that that's part of the cause, and if they don't, then we know that there's something else. So I need to go and see my neurologist and stuff for the TN too, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, so I had an optometrist vision appointment. I got some reading glasses on the way. I have worn glasses on and off my whole life, but I find that most of the time they weren't super necessary. It's just that I only had one eye, so they wanted to protect that eye. but now it's become a little bit more important, especially with all the computer work that I've been doing. So other than that, during the week we haven't done much in the garden because it's just too hot. I'm hoping that we get a bit of a decrease in temperature over next week so that Sonnet and Surreal and Apollo can whippersnip the weeds down for me so that I can start getting the gardens sorted for autumn planting, get some brassicas started and things like that. I have a whole bunch of basil seedlings that I really want to put out in the ground to let them bush up over as the weather turns a little bit, because as much as they're a summer thing, they like that turn in weather. But the tomatoes and zucchinis are not doing fantastically. There just hasn't been enough watering happening. We've been struggling to maintain water levels for garden as well as everything else in the heat, and each year we struggle with that a little bit, which is why we'd really like to get a bore on the property, and then we can set up with solar and it can have a header tank and it can fill all our garden tanks and everything else. But the problem is that the pricing of a bore can be like 25 grand. And as much as that's an investment in our future and it's a beneficial one for, forever and all the rest of it, and it saves us on fuel, it saves us on wear and tear on the car, it saves us on, and it could save us money on food, because if we had consistent water, then we could potentially have consistent gardens. It's just not in our wheelhouse at the moment, so it's probably going to be a couple of years before I can even think about doing that. So we need to try and figure something out in the meantime. And we were going to try and set up some gravity water feeding with the barrels and some drip irrigation and stuff, but we didn't get there because then we had realized that we have to put covers over every bed. And the way we were going to do it isn't necessarily going to work with the covers on the beds, and so we're still adapting all that. So I don't really have anything to share with the gardens. Other than that, don't know. It's been a pretty slow week with the temperatures the way they are. It's just been difficult. So, I've been working on that sourdough and trying to get my starter happy and baking some for meals and working on food, and just life in general. So not much to share this week, but I wanted to share that top-up shop with you and let you know we got the turkeys, and there is some rescue kittens that we might be taking on as well. There's a cat that had kittens in a factory situation, and the mum got killed, and they're trying to catch all the kittens and find homes for them. And they advertised one the other day that I queried because it was a little ginger tabby, and I'd love a little ginger tabby. And he had found a new home before we contacted her, but she said that there's more that they're trying to catch, so we'll see how we go. They'll be a little bit wild, but they're only about 3 months old, so we'll be able to have fun taming them, sort of thing. So the more cats we have, the less mice we have. But we also really enjoy cats, and we've got this semi-enclosed patio that they live on away from the dogs, and they lead a good life here. So but other than that, I don't know, I have rambled because I've been interrupted every 5 minutes, so I'm going to have to take this inside and have a listen to it and see if it works. And then we'll see, and I will see you guys on the next video. So the schedule seems to be working quite well. I am trying to get ahead of videos a little bit so that I'm not working like Thursday night for Friday's video, things like that. That would be really nice, but for the moment I'm just not getting enough done because it's too hot. So I'm hoping to, that winter will really help with all of that. But I do need to do a few things. I badly need to start some mustards up because I've got no mustards at the moment. I will be getting my garlic soon. So there's a lady that I purchase elephant garlic off every year, and because I have been unsuccessful at growing it. I have some small bulbs that we grow, but nothing significant. And so I normally buy like 10 kilos of elephant garlic from her locally, and then I have to do something with it. So we do a lot of confits, we do some preserved garlic, we do some smoked and frozen garlic, all those sorts of things. So I'm going to have to do that over the next couple of weeks. And I think groceries are 3 weeks away. So we're still, trying to figure out what we've got left for the next 3 weeks, trying to figure out how I'm going to shop for after that and things like that. So, I'll have plenty to share. I feel a little like this chat was not too much today, but everyone loves to have these chats. So, and it is nice because when I share the cooking videos during the week, I don't necessarily share anything that's real life, though I should really be sharing more on Facebook and Instagram, but I've been really, really slack with that. I need to get back into the routine. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. I forgot to mention too, it is Australia Day today, so the plan is to make some lamingtons hopefully today, because we had that whole discussion about how we named the lamb Lamington because she's black and white and the kids didn't know what a lamington was, so that is the plan today. But we will see how the temperatures go and whatever else, so I'm just sitting here editing and wanted to add that on.